I don't care where you're currently at. For you to get to the next level, you are going to bring in new talent one way or the other. I don't know any rich person that became ultra wealthy purely from just owning it all 100% and never allowing anyone else to make great money with them. You need 1 + 1 = 4. You two should amplify each other to produce more than you would have individually just doing your own thing. What's going on? It's Ryan Pineda. Welcome to another episode of the Wealthy Way podcast, where our mission is to help you not go broke trying to get rich. Now, today is going to be a fun topic because we are doing a solo podcast and I'm giving my thoughts on partnership. And there's a lot of different forms of partnership that you need to be aware of that you don't currently. I can tell you this, for your business to get to the next level, you are going to take on a partner whether you realize it or not, okay? You're either going to bring a key person in who's going to help your business grow to the next level. You're going to give them a very good plan. Maybe it's profit share, maybe it's equity, whatever. That's going to happen for your business to get to the next level, whether you believe it or not. Okay. You might also be starting a new business and you're trying to figure out, man, should I start this with a partner or on my own? How should I go about this? You might be looking at somebody buying into your business, right? That could be a thing. You might be selling off a piece of it. You might also be looking at bringing in a guy like me and saying, hey, Ryan, I want to give you equity in return for this, right? That happens to me a lot. And that's actually what we're going to be doing a lot of this year with my new company, Pineda Partners, which I'll talk about here in a second. But nonetheless, this episode is going to give you in-depth of do's and don'ts with this because I've been through it all, right? I've had many, well, I don't say many, but I've had failed partnerships that I've had to buy people out of. I've had, partnerships that were very successful that continued to be successful. I've had partnerships that were successful, but, the business itself wasn't something that we wanted to continue going forward. And so, yeah, I've kind of been through it all when it comes to partnerships and, identifying the right people that can help you get to the next level. So, regardless of where you're at today, I think this episode is going to be so valuable to you, okay? Whether you're just now thinking about starting a business or whether you're thinking about hiring a key person or partnering with somebody or bringing someone into your business that's going to help it get to the next level, that's going to happen, okay? So let's jump right into this. Okay, so first off, let's talk about just partnerships in general, right? There's lots of ways to do partnership, all right? People first think oh, well, I got to give up equity, and that's not necessarily the case. What I've taught our students for a long time at Wealthy Investor and Wealthy Creators that you don't have to necessarily just go give equity on paper right off the bat. They can earn into equity if that's what they desire, but also too, you can get the same result with just simple profit share. Okay. And so profit share can happen in lots of different ways, right? I mean, think about what commission is. Commission is just profit sharing. Okay. When we pay a sales guy 10% of the sale, that's a profit share. And, the salesperson doesn't have equity in the company. They're just doing the job that's required and they're getting, a piece of the profit for what they do. Now, for me, one thing that I always did early on was instead of just going and getting these equity partners right off the bat, I would go hire somebody who was going to be what I would call the COO, and I would pay them based on net profit of the entire company, okay? Because I wanted this person to have the same incentives I had as an owner. I wanted them to treat it like ownership, even if they weren't actually an owner on paper. And basically their whole incentive then is if they're being paid purely on net profit, it's to increase net profit, right? How can we grow this business profitably? Because if we do, then they're going to make more. And obviously me as the owner, I'm going to make more. And so this is what I did for my house flipping company for many years. It was just purely on net profit. And, everything that came in every month, we would just get a P&L, and that's how the COO would get paid based on net profits. And I did the same thing with Future Flipper, which is now Wealthy Investor. When I first hired Brian Davila, I hired him. He was not an equity partner. He just came in on a profit split and ran the company and helped it grow to the next level. And so, and by the way, he ended up earning into ownership years later. And so I'll talk about that here later on in this episode. But my point is, you can get the same effect of partnership with profit share. Does not necessarily mean they have to go on paper right off the bat. And I would actually highly recommend that if you are starting a business and, it's your idea, you're the one who wants to do this, and you're like thinking about starting it with a quote unquote partner, somebody who's going to help you out. I mean, I would advise just like doing a joint venture to start out. Like really test the waters before you ever just finalize this partnership on paper. Because, dude, once that thing's on paper, I mean, it's on paper. You're married. That's what a partnership is. You go start this business in LLC and you guys start it together as 50-50 partners, and all of a sudden you realize 6 months into it that, dude, you guys don't like working for each other or with each other. And maybe this other guy that you're with isn't carrying their weight. He's definitely not earning up to his 50%. You're the one doing all the work. You're going to be in a predicament because you're going to be like, dude, like, I don't want to do this, but guess what? You guys own that business together. You can't just kick him out, right? Like you have to buy him out at that point, versus if you guys went into it as a joint venture and you own the LLC and you're just kind of growing this thing. And then, 6 months in, you're realizing this guy's not the guy. Well, you just let him out. Like you still own the company. This guy's not performing great. I mean, it's fine. You could have still brought him in as a joint venture and say, hey, like we're going to do this as a test run. I own the LLC and the brand name and everything else. And, like let's test this out for a year working together. And if we like it, then we can finalize it, on paper. And he can still get 50% of the profits. It's just the moment it stops working and you realize this ain't it, you would then be able to get rid of them much easier. So that's my first thing, like realizing that partnerships are like marriage. You can't just end it when you want, right? You have to go through a legal process. And guess what? That partner is going to end up with something, right? Just like if you get divorced, your partner gets half, okay? So business is very much the same way. So be very, 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 very cautious on partnerships. I said it 7 times because you got to hear, there's a study saying that you got to hear something 7 times before it really clicks. Be very cautious with partnerships, especially off the bat. If you're hesitant, make sure you just do a joint venture. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, look, if you're just starting something, the business ain't doing anything anyway, right? Like it's brand new. So it's not that big of a deal, to be honest. And you guys can figure out whether or not you want to, make it official later on down the road, right? So anyways, and that's exactly how, like I said, my house flipping business, Home Run Offer, was and still is today. That's how Future Flipper was when it started. I started it by myself. I brought Brian in later, and eventually after a couple of years of working together and us saying like, yeah, like we really like working together. And by the way, you have significantly grown this company since you've come in. Like you actually do deserve equity. You've earned it these last 2 years. And, at that point, it wouldn't be fair to him, for putting in all this work of growing it. And then all of a sudden me just being like, hey, thanks for growing it for me, dude. You're out. Like that's not right. So, for the growth of the company to be fair and, because I see us doing this together long-term, he earned into equity. So, that's basically the best case scenario, right? You guys start out as just kind of profit share and it turns into something more. It's kind of like dating, right? You're dating a girl and you guys are you're courting each other and you're just seeing if this thing's going to work. And then, it does, and you make it official, right? You get married. Hey, if you're looking to grow your real estate investing business, whether you're just getting started trying to get your first deal or you're trying to scale and get to the next level, you need to join us at Wealthy Investor. We've got events every single quarter that are absolutely crazy. We've got online coaching programs where we have Zoom calls, a community every single week. We give you everything you need to know to start your business, scripts, processes, SOPs, all of it. It's for you so that you can dominate. So if you want to learn more about how to join our community and be mentored by me and some of our top coaches and be around other students who are absolutely crushing it, go to wealthyinvestor.com, apply for a free call with my team. Once again, wealthyinvestor.com, apply for a call today. Here's the thing too, right? I mentioned this before, but you're going to need to bring people in to level your company up, right? And there's lots of ways to bring people in, right? Let's just say you started a company solo by yourself, all right? Well, you only can learn so much on your own, okay? There's only so much you can do by listening to my podcast and watching YouTubes and, going to events. There's only so much. But what really moves the needle is, getting information, but, really getting a talent, okay? Getting more talent in your organization is what moves the needle more than anything. So I know for me, my overall ecosystem at Pineda Company, I'm going to need to get more and more talent around me in order to grow us to the next level, right? Like if I want to be a billionaire one day, I don't have the people here today to do it. We just don't, right? Nobody here's ever been a part of $1 billion company. Like nobody's made $1 billion here. Why would I have the people here to do it, right? We'd already be there, right? Now, it doesn't mean that some of these people can't develop into, the kind of people that we need, but, with a $1 billion company comes a lot more manpower, a lot more processes, more ideas. And so I'm going to have to bring in new people to get there. Doesn't mean like I have to get rid of the old people. The old people are going to be needed too, right? Or some of those people may not be ready for the big time and they're going to get replaced by people who are ready for it, right? Like I've already experienced that as we've scaled from just like a small house flipping operation to what we have today, right? People who were good during the small house flipping days are no longer good enough for where we're at today. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It doesn't mean that, they're a letdown or have animosity. It just means like everybody has a cap to their talent and what it is they want to do and how hard they want to work and how much they want to improve. And guess what? If we're trying to improve as a company and grow and be rapid, in order for you to keep up with the growth of the company, you have to grow as an individual as well, for what the company needs and requires and everything else. And everyone understands that, right? And I think it also is understood even like everybody's own capabilities. Like how far do you personally want to take your capabilities? How far do you want to go? And look, if you're at the cap and, there's a spot with that, that's great. It's just we got to go hire somebody else now to fill the next spot that we need instead of maybe a promotion happening, right? So, this is all just part of growth. But my point is, I don't care where you're currently at. If you're just now starting your business or you've had a business, for you to get to the next level, you are going to bring in new talent one way or the other. Now, the new talent might be you hiring somebody, right? And you go hire a new COO or a sales manager or something like that. That could happen. It might be this person coming into your life that you think could definitely help your business get to the next level. Maybe they have a talent that you've been lacking, and the only way you can get them is by giving equity, right? Because they're so talented that they're not going to go leave whatever they're doing unless you really make it worthwhile. Okay. Like I knew, for example, that Brian Davila already had a successful house flipping business. He was making over $500,000 a year. So like for me to go get him to come full time with me, there has to be a big opportunity for him. Like why else would he go leave what he's already doing? And that's the thing with these super like talented people. They're not just like doing nothing. They're talented. They're doing big things already, right? And so they're only coming for big opportunities that have big purpose and big upside, and they believe in the mission and the culture and all these things. So the more talented the person, the more you got to do to attract them because they are high level performers, right? And so you could bring in somebody like that who ends up being a partner off the get-go, or somebody who comes in on profit share. But one thing that could happen too is you end up bringing in a consultant who is then going to, help you find those people, or that consultant is now going to get, equity in your company. And this is, basically like this thing that's kind of becoming popular. Like that's what Hormozy is doing with acquisition.com, right? It's just, and he does deals in different ways too, but the consulting for equity model is essentially like saying, hey, you're going to come in and get equity in the business. In return, you're going to help us grow it to our goals because you've already done it before, right? And, that's what he's doing. I mean, Hormozy has scaled his company and he's helped scale other companies. And so people will give them their company for free, a portion of it, give him their company for free for a portion of it because of the expertise he's bringing in. Because guess what? You can't just go hire him on an hourly basis. He won't do it. It's not worth his time. To make it worth his time, you got to give him a piece of your business, right? So, that's something that a lot of you might do. And that's actually what we're doing now too at Pineda Partners. We are going to go partner up with these businesses. We're going to buy businesses and partner and different things. But, in the end, I would guess a lot of the businesses that we get are going to be consulting for equity type deals where we don't actually have to quote unquote buy it, right? They're going to be giving us equity in exchange for our resources, our knowledge, our ability to attract these A players and help them get those A players into the company, our ability to market and the things that we know, maybe even a strategic partner where it's like, okay, Ryan's already got this community and this company we're looking at has a product that the community would love and need. And therefore the partnership makes a lot of sense from a strategic standpoint, even if I'm not like, consulting them and helping them grow, like, even though that would happen anyway. But point is, like, they're looking at it from other angles, right? Marketing angle, essentially. So yeah, I think, that's a big thing, right? And I'm excited for that because I love going into new companies and just looking at them and seeing the inefficiencies and ways that we can improve it and help it get to the next level. And I mean, here's the thing, right? Like the same as what we're talking about with Hormozy. You can't just go pay me to be a consultant on that deal. It's just not really worth my time, right? I'm busy running my own businesses. And so if I'm really going to go put the time and effort into go building somebody else's business, I got to own it with them. Like that's just straight up how it has to be, right? So, I think that model is very good and we're going to be doing a lot of that as time goes on. And I mean, we're already doing it, right? Like so many of the things that I've done today have been just either outright acquisitions where I literally just took over the company entirely and integrated it into what I was doing. For example, an example of this was our Airbnb program with Ivan Tejeda. He had his own company that was teaching Airbnb and he came to me and wanted help and consulting. And, the more we talked about it, the more that we realized like, you know what, it would probably be just a much better thing for both of us as if, we strategically acquired you and integrated, what you're doing into what we already have with Wealthy Investor. So, that's exactly what we did. We took ProHost, put it into Wealthy Investor. Ivan teaches it within Wealthy Investor. And, we have our own pay structure on how all that works for our sales and his sales and, other things with helping him grow his brand and everything else. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff that is with this deal. But guess what? Like I didn't have to go buy his business or anything. Like basically I was acquiring the talent because I really believe in Ivan and what he's doing. And so, basically for me, I'm looking at it not necessarily as business, but the talent, because there's lots of people who teach Airbnb. How many of them are ethical? How many of them are good teachers? How many of them have similar core values? Ivan and I have very similar core values and as Christians, very similar beliefs. And like, it just made perfect sense. And, for me, that's just an example of, hey, I need more talent for us to get to the next level because we don't currently have the person that we need. So let me go find a way to get more talent and let them bring their skill set with them. And on a broader note, this is actually what we're doing a lot now for our hiring is that, at the end of the day, the way we've built our business to this point has been through like organic hiring. Okay. So people who already follow me on social media, friends of people already in the company, right? And that's great. And it's got us where we're at today. But guess what? For us to get to the next level, we need to go bring in people that have more experience than us. So for example, if I'm trying to go hire a marketing director, all right, like I could go just get some college kid who's super hungry and obviously has a good baseline with marketing and everything, and I'll get them cheap and I'm going to have to train them, right? And because we know a lot about marketing, so it's like, hey, here are the things I need you to do and, get better and learn. And that would be an example of like building up talent. And that's exactly what we've done to this point. But the flip side is I could just go try and hire somebody who's already had the experience or poach somebody. I mean, this is what happens in tech all the time, right? If I wanted a marketing director, I would want to go get somebody who's done marketing at a place that's similar to mine, right? So like, why wouldn't I go and get, somebody who's done it for Tony Robbins or Cardone or for Gary Vee or for Patrick Bet-David or for, whoever, right? Like somebody who's already done what I need them to do for somebody else. And guess what's going to happen? Yeah, am I going to pay more for them? For sure, right? Like they're going to cost more than the other person who I could build up, who maybe has just as much or more talent. The only problem with this guy is, on this side, is it's going to take time to harness that talent. It's like if you're in win now mode as a sports team, right? Like you're the Los Angeles Lakers right now. I'm a Lakers fan. You got LeBron. He's 39, okay? And AD, he breaks every freaking season, right? You never know when he's going to be healthy. We don't have time to develop rookies, okay, if we're the Lakers. We got to get guys who can win and contribute now to the team. And that's kind of the point we're at, is like, our stakes are starting to get high. We don't have time to be training rookies. Like, do we want to be developing people? Absolutely. We want our players always getting better. But at the end of the day, I got to go get somebody who's already done it and who's available. That's why LeBron was trying to get Kyrie back. He's like, dude, this guy knows what's up. He already knows how to win. He's done it before. Let me go try and get him in a trade. Side note, I do like the trade we ended up getting with D'Angelo Russell and all these other guys, but nonetheless, that's how we have to look at it in business, is like, yo, let me go get somebody who's already done this. And by the way, that person can bring philosophies that we don't currently have over. This is the same thing with like hiring a head coach. It's like, man, do we want to go get a head coach who's already got experience from, other teams and other things that we don't currently have, right? Because they can bring over their systems and processes to us. And so not only are we paying them to do the task that we need them to do, but we are also getting a whole new overview and perspective of what we didn't know before. It's like we're getting a consultant and an employee. So we're doing a lot of that now. Like I'm trying to hire people who've already done it for people ahead of me. That's really what I'm trying to do at this point. And that's what, you need to be thinking about with your business as you start to get to the next level. It's like, man, well, how do I grow my business? Well, I can go get somebody who's already done it at a level higher than me. And that's what successful businesses do. Now, look, maybe you're not ready for a partner, right? Well, then you need to go join a coaching program or get a mentor or hire a consultant, right? This is why we've done so much at Wealthy Investor, right? For those of you who want to get into real estate investing, right? I'm not going to come into your business and, maybe if we partnered, but like, I'm not going to just like go into your business and, break it down and check in with you every week and all that stuff. Like I'd have to own it for me to do that, right? But you can get the same trainings and everything else without me having to do that and without me having to own it by just getting in our coaching program, right? And so that's been an amazing thing for people. They haven't had to give up equity and they can learn the same things I would tell them anyway, right? But, as time goes on, they're going to realize that, hey, for the next level of scale, I really need a COO, right? Or I really need somebody who's just a master at sales or a master at marketing. And, their first thing might be if you're following my advice, to, hire somebody as an employee first. Like, you don't want to just give them equity if you've already built this thing. But if you want to get somebody who's like really legit, you may have to lure them with equity because they're otherwise not going to do business with you. Okay. So, there's no right or wrong answer, but it's like, I know for me personally, I'm looking at like two things, right? One is, hey, my current existing businesses, how do I get everybody aligned, at least at the top level, on the same goals, right? And I can do that through profit share. I can do that through commissions. I can do that through, entire company-based bonuses. Or, if they're somebody that we really need, I can do it through true equity and partnerships. I'm open to all of them depending on the person, that business, and the situation. One of the things that I think a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck on is having to own everything. I'm like, well, they walk around very proud, like, I own 100% of my business. Like, I don't have to split anything. Like, that's pure net profit to me. And I'm like, congrats. It's probably not going to grow. It's the truth. Because think about this. How much of Tesla does Elon Musk own? If you had to guess, like, how much of Tesla do you think Elon Musk owns? Last time I checked, it was like 10%. Elon Musk is the majority shareholder at Tesla at like 10%. So does Elon Musk like care that he doesn't own 100% of Tesla? No. He goes in, gets partners, raises equity, and he was able to grow Tesla into, the biggest car company in the world in terms of value. And in turn, he became the richest man in the world because he was willing to bring in new partners. All right. And so I don't know any rich person, that's just like became ultra wealthy purely from just like owning it all 100% and never allowing anyone else to like make great money with them. That's the truth. Like, I want people around me to become millionaires and to make lots and lots of money, because I know if they did, I made like a lot of money as well. We all made a lot of money. So why not find win-win scenarios where that can happen? And, for me, that's why I always think about how can I bring in more talent and incentivize them in the right way with these different things. And here's the thing too, like, once you realize that in order to scale to the next level, it's simply just like a partner and talent thing, it starts to get exciting because you're just looking for more and more partnerships with A-level people that can really help you get there. And a partnership doesn't even have to be, on equity or even profit share like we're talking about, like, give you an example. We have Ricky Carruth, who we basically, just signed into a partnership agreement, and he's a big agent. He's been on the show before, and, basically he was looking at potentially starting his own coaching programs and things. And as we talked about it, we're like, dude, you should just join our stuff, just like with Ivan Tejeda and ProHost. And, the more we talked about it, the more we realized, like, yeah, this is actually a much better move for everyone involved, Ricky, us, and just like the students. Everyone's going to win way bigger with it being done this way versus him trying to go start something on his own by himself and, go build a company from scratch and all these things, right? We already have infrastructure. It's a great symbiotic relationship. And so we realized we need guys like him, super talented. He realized it was a win-win for him as well. And so that's why the deal's working. So, at the end of the day, there's lots of ways, but for me, I'm just trying to bring on more and more talent every single week. How do we get more talent? And honestly, it's why I'm excited about Pineda Partners, because, for those of you who don't know, I've been talking about buying businesses, right? Before I was referring to it as Pineda Ventures, but as we're now like about to launch, I've decided that it's going to be called Pineda Partners, because that's really what we're trying to do. Like, I want to partner. I want more partners in my life and in my business. Because I know as I make more videos like this, more people are going to apply to partner with us on their business. And I'm going to meet some amazing talented people who are going to become partners. And so they'll have already had, successful businesses, and we're going to be able to come in and amplify those successful businesses. And by surrounding myself with more talented people, I'm going to learn as well. They're going to help our current businesses. It's just going to be a win-win. And that's what a partnership should look like. It should feel like a win-win, that everybody feels like, man, dude, this was amazing. This is far better than if I would have stayed on my own, right? Like there's a saying, a partnership shouldn't be 1 + 1 = 2. Like you would just work by yourself. Why do you need 1 + 1 = 2? You need 1 + 1 = 4 if you're going to do a partnership, right? Like you two should amplify each other to produce more than you would have individually just doing your own thing, right? So that's kind of like how we're looking at it too with Pineda Partners is like, okay, cool. Like there are going to be businesses that come to us and, we're going to end up partnering with them and we're going to help them grow. And that's how we win. There are going to be businesses that want to sell to us outright, right? And that's cool too, right? We could buy those and take them over ourselves and, that's cool. There are going to be businesses that kind of want consulting for equity type deals where it's like, hey, just come in, tell us what you see, and then we figure out what that deal looks like. There are going to be businesses that we can integrate into what we already do, right? It's like, all right, we're bringing in this, just easy example, a CRM company, and now we're going to build it out for our students. And so we have distribution, which is what they maybe lack as the CRM. And so now it's a good, symbiotic partnership. So there's lots of things that are going to happen. And, if you're kind of in that camp and you're like, look, I want to scale my business to the next level, really what we are looking for are, businesses in either the real estate industry or the education industry. So if you have a mortgage business, title, appraisals, property management, like anything in real estate, we're interested, or education, right? We've done really well with education. I don't really care what your niche is. It could be stocks, music, media, I don't care. We are interested in partnering with education companies because we know so many things that can help them grow just based on our experience of growing our own. We're super excited about those. And then I guess there is a third arm that we're doing with my NFT project, Tykes, which is going to be more so on the tech side. So we are definitely interested in tech companies that are focused on real estate, education, or even just general entrepreneurship and business because we understand those principles. And so we are interested in investing in some of these tech companies that, maybe they're in the startup phase and they need capital and everything else. So if you have a business that fits any of those criterias and you're interested in partnering up with us and you're looking for, somebody who can help you get it to the next level, or you're looking for capital to help it grow, or if you just want to outright sell because you're just kind of you've built something, but you're ready to move on into something else, we're interested. So you can apply your business at pinedapartners.com and, we can see if it's a fit for both to create a win-win, right? That's the whole point of partnership, creating a win-win. 1 + 1 = 4, not 1 + 1 = 2. But yeah, there's so much that goes into building a successful business, but I can just tell you 1000% that you got to get A players. You got to be careful with, giving equity right off the bat. And you have to, you need help. The only way to scale your business is by bringing in new talent, and new talent could be directly working for you. New talent could be on a consulting basis. New talent could be the guy with money because you need capital to grow, right? You need somebody, okay? Because you're not going to do it on your own. That much is certain. And so for me, I'm just trying to build more and more partnerships because that's what's going to help me get to $1 billion. That's it. There's no way I can do it with my current skill set, the current people around me. I got to get more talent, more capital, more ideas, more great partners. So hopefully this video inspired you. Hopefully it was helpful. And I appreciate you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that podcast. Thanks for making it to the end. The good news is I've got another one that I know you're going to like. And all you got to do is click it right here. Linking it right here. All you got to do is just click it. And you're going to see this new episode that you're going to love.